I'm joined by former Obama and Biden administration official Emily Horn. She spent nearly a decade at the State Department holding a variety of roles, including as communications director for the Obama administration's counter-ISIS efforts. Emily, thank you for your time and welcome to the program. But I want to ask you, we're told that these cuts include multiple employees within the population, refugees, and migration wing of the department, also some cuts within diplomatic security. What do you glean from that?
Thanks, Alex, for having me. I wish it was under different circumstances. Look, if I could say one thing about these cuts is that they're reckless. This is an own goal on behalf of the United States. This is President Trump being arbitrary, being highly unstrategic, and frankly, being really dangerous in the people who he's laying off today, who collectively have thousands of years of experience serving the American people, who have dedicated their careers and their lives to helping protect our interests overseas, promoting our economic and trade interests, working with our allies and partners to keep our borders safe and protect us from everything from pandemics to terrorist attacks. It's an own goal and frankly, a really dark day in the history of American diplomacy.
Well, and just curiosity, and I recognize there are a lot of roles inside the State Department. It's a huge agency, but can you give some insight as to the responsibilities for that department, the Population, Refugee, and Migration wing of the State Department, and also like some of the roles of diplomatic security?
Sure. Population, Refugees, and Migration, or PRM, State Department folks really do like our acronyms. PRM traditionally has been the bureau that works with everything from vetting refugees who are trying to come into the United States to helping to support migration overseas, to support a healthy and free and safe flow of migrants so that people don't come to the United States, so that they can stay in their home countries or they can stay in neighboring countries and not have to flee their homes, because nobody wants to be a refugee. Nobody wants to leave their home. They're forced to. And so bureaus like PRM help to alleviate the conditions that make people leave their home in the first place. Likewise, diplomatic security does a number of important things, including protecting our diplomats overseas, protecting the president and the secretary of state when they travel overseas. They protect our classified information at our embassies, along with Marine security guards. They work with local law enforcement overseas to help interdict everything from terrorists to foreign drug traffickers who are trying to come to our shores. They do a whole host of law enforcement and cooperative partnerships with our overseas partners. So again, I can't tell you exactly how this will come back to hurt us, but I know it absolutely will, because in these layoffs, we are shedding just an immense amount of institutional knowledge and dedicated public servants who have really worked very, very hard to protect all of us.
Well, there are critics of these cuts who have said the decision to lay off specifically the Foreign Service officers sends a message to our country's allies and also our adversaries that the U.S. is pulling back from the world stage here. I see you shaking your head in agreement. But listen, I mean, this is playing out, and connect the dots here. This is playing out as the U.S. is currently negotiating a number of trade deals with foreign countries, many of them being our allies. Can you talk about the importance of those foreign service relationships and the bridge building?
I wish that the American people could see every day the work that our diplomats and our civil servants do on their behalf. And just as it would be unimaginable for any American president to denigrate the service of our men and women who serve our military, I can't imagine that we have a U.S. president who denigrates our diplomats the way that this president does. But he does. I wish that all Americans could see the work that they do to advance our economic interests, to try to broker trade deals that help our companies sell goods and services overseas, the way that they advance our values, the way that they give up, frankly, more lucrative careers in the private sector to serve our country every single day. You mentioned what our adversaries think of this, Alex, and I think that's a really important point. Look, this action is a gift to Beijing and to Moscow. We are at a moment right now where Beijing is surging its diplomatic capacity. They're building new embassies and consulates all over the world. They are upping their involvement in multilateral organizations like the WHO at the same moment that the United States is pulling back. And I don't know how you have influence and, frankly, leverage over the world unless you show up And right now, the Trump administration is pulling back at the exact moment that we should be showing up, because both the threats and the opportunities that our country needs to deal with in the 21st century don't stop at the water's edge. They don't stop at our borders. We are all in this together. We are so much stronger when we are working hand in glove with our adversaries. And frankly, that's what the polling over and over indicates. Both Democrats and Republicans don't want to see us pulling back from the world. They want us to be smart about how we engage. They don't want us to get into senseless wars. They don't want us to launch unilateral military strikes on potential adversaries, as the Trump administration has done. They want us to be smart. They want us to be strategic. And today's actions by President Trump are anything but smart and strategic. They are just an own goal.
All right, Emily Horn, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Alex.